We've for years been looking at how the balance or the interest of trade and how that is balanced with the respect for human rights. And I think looking at it from a broader perspective from ACCA's General Assembly is one way of trying to deal with the problem as it is on the continent.
We see that progress not just in terms of membership, but in content of the meeting itself. They've seen the need of expanding the initial objectives to capture more context and recent issues which are topical to our current situations in Africa, but also to the objectives of the ACCA and respective regional representation of the organization.
The 6th Annual General Assembly, I think, is really significant. It takes place for the first time in West Africa. We've had, the previous General Assemblies in the last few years been in Southern Africa, in South Africa, in Nairobi, in Kenya, and now here we are in Abidjan, in West Africa. I think it's significant. It shows also the continental reach that ACCA has.
China's investments in 2004 was only 1 billion, and that rose to over 35 billion as of 2015. We're seeing a lot more change on the continent. Like any diplomatic relationship, it has to be managed. There is no relationship that doesn't come with risks, and this is something that we have to carefully mitigate.
On the one hand, Chinese investment has brought job opportunities and has facilitated technology transferring and provide the goods to the local African community and the people. But on the other hand, Chinese investment has also caused a lot of negative impact on the environment and the community's livelihood.
China is also remedying infrastructure deficits that Africa has, which has really held back its economic progress over the years.
How does that affect the communities? Because one of the key commodities or one of the key areas that are critical to Africans is land. And so much demand for land or so much control of lands that were historically being controlled by communities in mining areas or either as artisanal miners or as agriculturists now that are being channeled into huge investment projects takes away that identity or takes away that common or communal platform that communities survive on.
Much has been said about Chinese investment, but it is significant that this is really the first time that civil society from Africa and civil society from China, Chinese experts come together. It's really about building capacity to better respond to the negative effects, in particular, of Chinese investment in Africa.
Very important is to strengthen African countries' own governance and to be resistant to those negative impact on the environment, ecosystem, and the people's livelihood. And so to strengthen your own government and strengthen the rule of law, strengthen your judiciary, and have active civil society organization is crucial to strengthen your governance.
Is there enough follow-up? Is there enough monitoring? Is there enough reports which you can both sit down and say, we wish or we want these issues, these investments to be taken from this angle? Is there community participation? If there is no community participation, what is the way forward in all these issues that we're talking about? Because we're talking about development, which I don't see it ending tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. This is something which is going to last for years to come.
So my message to ACCA is quite simply to keep moving forward. These conversations are absolutely critical, and like most things in the world, change happens from the ground up.
How do we maintain the momentum to say, beyond the General Assembly, there's something we are planning to do in the year leading to another General Assembly? And sometimes it has to be on such a massive project that has already been introduced, Chinese investments. How do we spin off that and jump into specific projects on the continent to see how we can collaborate with experts on the Chinese investments and the way they operate to assure that there are strong remedial mechanisms or accountability mechanisms that can be pursued. Ensure that where there have been abuses and violations of human rights by these investments, there's some form of accountability that can be pursued.
I think the beauty of the conference is that we're now trying to form synergies and find ways that we can collectively look for strategies that can lead to better outcomes for Africans in this particular instance.